And we are back for the last 9 holes of the 2024 European Disc Golf Festival here in Tallinn, Estonia. We have a great battle going on between two of the best legends of the game, Paul McBeth, Ricky Wysocki, 3 strokes separating them. My name is Maxime Tanghe, and with me, Elias Luukkonen.
What's up guys, what's up Maxime, nice to be here. We're setting up for an incredible back nine, as you said, a legendary duo of players, Ricky Wysocki, Paul McBeth. So many battles they have had in the past, and this is one more of them.
And as you can see, Ricky Wysocki 30 down, Paul McBeth 27, the rest of the field is right there, scoring good shooting in the end. Just a huge gap between the two and the rest of the field. And yeah, we can just wait for the last 9 holes to start.
Yeah, and the back 9 really gonna require a bit more distance than the front 9. Not really on hole number 10 though. 115 meters, playing just slightly shorter than that with the late downhill at the end of the fairway. It's truly a straight tunnel shot. You can either go for a forehand flat with a slight right finish or just that perfectly straight low ceiling backhand. I'd say the forehand is probably better for fighting the low ceiling, but backhand has a cleaner line to get parked to the basket. Although parked on this hole is going to be incredibly difficult to do. Really the best shots we have seen are usually on the edge of the circle.
Yeah, you're right. That's the 4th most difficult hole on the course. And starting on this one, Paul McBeth, 27 down right now.
A little bit turned over, great kick, super good kick back to the fairway. He hit the line pretty well, just his disc was too understable for that shot, and Ricky showing the other line. This is the forehand, also a very valiant option on this hole.
And as you were explaining, a good shot here is usually edge of the circle, just outside C1 for Ricky, and now Kyle with the forehand also.
I like his swing for the slow ceiling forehand, just missing the line to the right though. You really want to miss the middle trees on the fairway on the left side with the forehand, and of course right side with the backhand. Aaron Gossage, same mistake, just hitting the middle tree there. Not quite choosing the line there, really important to commit to either that right or the left side of the tee.
And now Paul left with a jump approach. Good roll. Less than 4 meters left for the 6-time world champ. And same for Aaron. Nothing crazy on this hole. Usually if you miss your line, it's gonna be an easy par. Same for Kyle here.
And talking about world champions, Ricky here, 2-time world champion, 2016 and 2017. And a missed putt there. The putt was really something that was able to catapult him into those 2 world championships back in the day. In today's age, Ricky with a bit more of a direct putt, not quite as straight of an arm, not quite as nose down. And looks like we're gonna have a star frame on the first hole of the back 9.
Yeah, 4 pars for the lead card. Not bad, not good, nothing crazy. And we are moving on to hole 11, par 4. Really toughy on this layout.
Yeah, the back 9 is starting extremely difficult. Really the holes from hole 10 all the way through hole 14 are gonna be the toughest holes on the course. And this hole number 11, really no different from that. A very long par 4, playing just slightly downhill at the middle part. Off the tee you have to shape something straight with a right finish. Ideally it's gonna be a low thrown flat to right finishing forehand. And if you make your way to the perfect spot about 120 meters down the fairway, you're gonna have another very similar shot to the green, another left to right moving shot. Great shot for a forehand, great shot for a roller, or if you have great touch on the backhand, that is also a viable option.
Yeah, this hole is also sponsored by Nike Estonia, which is pretty cool. Paul with the forehand. If it can miss that building, wow. And being around those trees in the middle of the fairway like this is huge. You will have a look and an open line to the green. This is low, but that's gonna be able to use the ground play deep down the fairway, right side. He should have some gaps there.
Yeah, Ricky a bit more right than he would like. Paul McBeth is really in the perfect position. I don't think we have seen a better drive, but we might see one here. Look at this. Not only the perfect shape, also incredible distance and the bonus roll at the end. That is a 135-meter forehand at least.
Yeah, slightly downhill on the second part of the flight, but still amazing. If this one can miss the building, no. He's gonna stay inbounds, fortunately. And the entire card is going for a forehand. Oh.
Inside line here from Aaron Gossage. That's a tough line to take. Not often do you see discs finding the basket through that line. But yeah, as you're mentioning, everybody going with a forehand, and now that I think about it, everybody on the card has incredible skills with that forehand.
Yeah, you're right. On a hole where the backhand turnover is a good option for the field. And this is a good approach, good second shot from Ricky. Left with a 12 to 14 meter spot for another birdie.
And to gauge the distance here, that red and black pole on the left side of the screen was the 100-meter pole. So about 105, 110 meters left for Paul. Slightly downhill, good forehand in the circle.
Yeah, being inside C1 for the birdie on this hole is really nice. This is even better. 6 meters left for Kyle. And Aaron just try to go between those trees, right side. This was a tough choice, but good third shot. 8 meters left to save the par.
And Ricky here, 12 meters straddle putt around the tree, and he has hit it. What an incredible momentum builder. Ricky had a good front nine of 5 under, but still losing 3 strokes to Paul McBeth, who is next up here.
Perfect putt. And a birdie, 9 down through 11 holes for Paul. Keeping Ricky's pace on the first day at the moment. Good putt also for Aaron to save that par. And now Kyle with the cleaner birdie look. Oh, and this is a huge miss from Kyle, not even touching the chains. No way, no way.
An absolute putting meltdown on the green of 11. Not often do we see missed putts from that range on the lead card of an Elite Series, especially not 2 putts on the same green. And Kyle needs to get his mental back in check very quickly as we're moving on to some of the longer par 3s we have on the course. The next 3 holes are gonna be crucial for the rest of the round. If you can birdie 2 of them, that's gonna be great. 3 of them is gonna be just incredible. First one here, hole number 12, we're going uphill 139 meters. Gonna be playing even slightly longer. There's Obi on the right side. It's really playing great for a big flat to hyzer shot with a glided distance driver. Luckily for the players, making the distance slightly easier is gonna be a slight tailwind on this hole.
And this hole 12 is in the middle of the pack, averaging just below the par. weirdly, knowing the distance and also the uphill slope all the way to the basket. This is not an easy drive. Usually you have a tailwind on this one. And this is low for Paul. This is really low and short for our 6-time world champ. Opening the door to Ricky also. He was really comfortable on this hole since the start of the tournament. Twice bullseye.
And very low from Ricky as well, but this is what he has been doing on this hole. Just look at this shot. Going just 2 meters off the ground, and every round I feel like he makes this hole look so short.
We are asking the same question since first round. He makes this hole so easy. And that's gonna be the same for Aaron Gossage. Left with a 5 meter spot. Even long.
Yeah, this is the part of the course where you can really have a big advantage if you have some faster arm speed. Same thing for Kyle Klein, just a pure hyzer into the circle there. He's also a very far throwing player. You know that you have some big arms on the card when Paul McBeth is clearly the shortest throwing player on the card, and he's not a short throwing player by any mean.
Yeah, trying to make something happen on this long range jump up. And that's probably going to be a 4 strokes gap again between Paul and Ricky. Oh my lord. You were talking about a meltdown on the green on the previous hole. This is a huge mistake also for Aaron. He's obviously frustrated with that miss. And this is a good bird. 7 down through 12 for Ricky. Really solid round put together by the 2-time world champ.
Yeah, a lot of good birdie opportunities here, but Ricky being the only one taking the birdie on this hole number 12, that is important for his lead.
And pretty happy to see Joona Heinonen 8 down through 12, third at the moment solo. And we are moving on to hole 13, par 3, really long one, headwind coming. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, this is another separator. A birdie here will go a long way, 155 meters, playing about 145 with a slight downhill grade. Of course, as you said, bit of a headwind here. Actually the strongest headwind that we have had in the last 3 days in this final round. It's all about finding that right stability disc, finding that right width on the shot. You have to put it out wide enough so that you avoid the trees on the left side, which are actually in the OB. If you hit the trees on the left side, you're gonna end up out of bounds. Also some risk of Ricky here throwing a nice looking release, but too flippy of a disc.
No way. Did he hit that ball?
I think he has hit one off the light post there and kicked OB off of it. That's a bad break. Though I think the disc was already flipping over.
This is opening the door to Paul. There's 4 strokes. And he's gonna play far from the pin. This is gonna be an important putt for Paul. And what do you think if I tell you that that's the toughest hole on the course for the round?
I wouldn't be surprised with today's headwind. You know, it's much stronger than in the previous days, and these shots that both Paul and Aaron Gossage are throwing are incredible. Look at that pure hyzer, 500 feet, 155 meters. Let's see if Kyle can match that. Trying to flip something up.
To turn as fast as possible. That's gonna catch some branches. And he's really, really lucky to stay in bounds with that. But we have 2 birdie opportunities on the hardest hole on the course. Leading card. Showing the way. Unfortunate break for Ricky on this one. And as mentioned, we are waiting for Paul's putt.
And Kyle there, good glide on the putter, just missing the line barely. And we're coming up to the most important putt of the round. So far, Paul McBeth from 11 meters.
And he makes it. He's gonna be 30 down over ball, 29 my bad, 10 on the round. And that's gonna be a 2-stroke swing. Good answer to the previous putt. Miss from Aaron, 5 down through 13 holes.
And Aaron is really driving the disc quite incredibly. He has missed multiple putts inside of circle 1 already. And still 5 under at this point of the round. He's just driving the disc like a maniac.
Yeah, and still in that top 10. Hole 14 now, par 3, 135 meters.
Yeah, I'd say this is probably the toughest hole out of the 3-hole stretch of these long par 3s. To get inside the circle, it's not really a hole that you're gonna bogey a lot of the times. The gap is pretty wide off the tee, but just the angle making it really difficult to reach circle 1. You have to throw a tight hyzer, high enough to have that glide all the way to the green, but still low enough to stay below the moderately low ceiling. You have many meters of space, but you can't throw it as high as you would ever like. Important to have that leftwards movement on the disc from the start.
76% of the field taking the par in this one. Only 16 birdies, and unfortunately Paul catching those 3 trees, one of those in the middle of the fairway and on this line that you're looking for to reach the basket. Aaron now.
Looking a little bit inside there, and yeah, just high and inside. Those branches of the spruce tree are extending to the right, left and center side of the fairway. If you're a little bit inside there, you'd really love to get just barely around those and then to the left.
And this is wide. Staying in bounds, right side. We can see the C1 line here. He's gonna have a long range C2 putt for the birdie. And this is Ricky's time to answer. Paul bad break on those trees, and he's doing it. Just outside C1, 11 meters left to take at least a stroke on Paul. Yeah, decent up from Gossage. Nothing crazy. And as mentioned, 76% of the field are taking a par on this one. So if you are not able to take the birdie and your chance on this one, nothing too crazy can happen on this hole 14. Oh, what a putt from Klein. From deep.
Incredible, struggling with some of those shorter putts. But this one from 19 meters, that's gonna be good. And look at this clean flight, slight anhyzer just around the tree. And a center hit to the basket. He's happy with that. Out of the battle for the win, but he's enjoying every single good shot he can get right now. Passionate player and Ricky here to get one back on Paul. And look at that.
Good bounce after the bad break on hole 13, 7 down through 14. Good answer. And 3 strokes again between the two guys.
And you can just feel the energy, you know, Paul and Ricky battle. Paul, somebody who has been described as the GOAT of disc golf, greatest of all time. And Ricky, player who has kind of been outshadowed by many years by Paul McBeth. Trying to take some revenge here. Moving on to hole number 15, another very birdieable hole after the 3-hole stretch of very difficult par 3s. This one is not the longest of par 4s, only 197 meters. Playing as a low ceiling tee shot, you're really trying to throw that fairway or ideally a distance driver low under the branches. Get as far straight as you possibly can, because you can't reach the OB long if you're a human. From the perfect drive you have about 80 meters to go to this green that is not very protected, just a one single big tree in the way, forcing you to usually go for a hyzer shot. Right to left finishing approach is the best on this one. Important to get the birdie here down the stretch.
And this one is in the middle of the pack, averaging slightly below the par, and this is a good shot from Kyle. Going through the tunnel and the gap, giving himself a chance to attack the green on the second shot. Oh my word. Just after taking a stroke back on Paul, he's going OB left side, opening the door again to Paul, and this is a good looking drive from McBeth. Exactly what he needs to give himself a chance for a probable or possible 2-stroke swing.
Yeah, it's definitely realistic that Ricky could get up and down from where his disc went out of bounds, but it's not easy, you know. He might even have that corner tree to contend with, and you can see the perfect line is gonna be a tight hyzer flip from here. And Ricky opting to just lay up before the OB. Trying to stay in control. I like to play, you know, not really trying to push anything, rather just knowing that he does have that 4 strokes lead. So might as well cut it down potentially to 2 or 3 after this hole.
Smoothness McBeth. What an approach.
Yeah, Paul McBeth showing that he has got the touch after all of his years. His touch is only getting better on those mid-range shots. And Aaron Gossage a little bit wide. Good result though, that's the main tree to miss on the hyzer line. And Ricky, now it's incredibly important that he does get at least to the circle, ideally parked under the basket.
Great shot from Ricky, also really important. Good birdie for Kyle, 5 down through 15.
And Ricky to save the bogey, strong hit on the chains there, confident putt. And I feel like laying up for the bogey compared to missing another shot and therefore getting a bogey is a better option for the confidence. You know, he feels like he's in control of the game, choosing to take that bogey instead of making another mistake.
3 birdies on this hole is a pretty solid performance. And Roland Koor from Estonia just shot a 10 down on this last round. That's super nice. Some Europeans in the top board, and hole 16 now.
Yeah, hole 16, we're starting the last 3-hole stretch of par 3s, all very birdieable. Both Paul and Ricky know that they would love to get all 3 birdies out of the last 3 holes. On this one it's all about keeping the height. Need to have a shot that is challenging the low ceiling, but also not quite hitting it. All about hitting it straight with either a mid-range or a fairway driver. This is the perfect looking shot from Kyle Klein.
Exactly, overstable mid-range or putter for Kyle. Not the longest hole, and 87% of the field taking either a birdie or a par. Not a lot of room for mistakes on this one, and this is really short from Paul. Only 1 stroke between him and Ricky, and this is the time to keep the pace and also keeping the pressure. This is an amazing shot from Aaron also. Bullseye hit.
And all of a sudden Ricky has an opportunity to get 1 stroke back on Paul. A little bit right there, he's still gonna be in the circle. Solid disc choice, able to fade back even with a slight anhyzer release. And Paul, he's gonna be putting from outside the circle, one of the biggest putts of the tournament.
And slightly elevated basket also, always being a bit more careful. No way, catching the bend. He was so far 16, 17 meters, able to put himself in position to get the birdie. And this is a huge miss also from Ricky, not able to capitalize after Paul's miss.
And you have to wonder if, you know, Ricky and Paul, they have been battling for such a long time. Is it even more nerve-wracking for them to play against each other than the rest of the field? You know, we don't see Ricky missing those putts really ever. 9 meters, that's... he's eating those putts for breakfast.
Yeah, feeling Paul McBeth's breath in his back, in his neck. He's just behind. We have two holes left. And look at the crowd. So many people again following the card. Huge energy on this final day. Hole 17 now.
Another 94-meter hole here. A very similar shot to the last hole. You have a low ceiling, straight shot. This time a little bit uphill, so you can actually throw the disc quite hard to get it all the way up there. Another hole that has a lot of bogey potential. If you hit a tree, you might bounce bogey right or left. There's also a double mando just halfway through the fairway. So the most important thing here, hit your line. Second most important thing, hit your height to get all the way to the basket.
And Kyle with a dangerous kick, staying in bounds. He also passed that Mando. And more of a low line for Gossage on that path, just short of that C1 line.
And this is a huge shot for Paul. He needs to put it in the circle to put all of the pressure on Ricky, and look at that, just outside the bullseye. On a hole that Ricky has actually been struggling on. He got the bogey in round 2. He missed the line and got lucky in round 1.
This is the moment to enter. And this is exactly what he's doing. What a clutch moment. Just a proof that he's one of the best players in the history of the sport. Both are less than 5 meters to the pin. And this should be a 1-stroke gap between the two men before the last hole of the tournament.
First, Aaron Gossage though, another cage hit. That has been his miss today. Important comebacker, and that's a huge mistake. Aaron Gossage, he's driving the disc well today. He's hitting a lot of the lines, just not the putts falling. And Paul McBeth taking the birdie. Ricky will also be taking the birdie one from just 1 meter away, and we're gonna have a one-stroke battle going into the very interesting hole number 18.
The only two players to be 30 or better under the par. And Paul McBeth heating up and warming up for that last hole. 18 is one of the most beautiful scenery we have in Europe this season. What do you think about this one?
Beautiful hole, as you said. All of the crowd behind the basket, up the stadium, behind the fence. 2,000 or 3,000 spectators watching this hole live. The shot is a very basic hyzer, but the distance is so far that it's easy to fade out early, go a little bit long, a little bit short. It's all about just judging the line. You have to put the disc pretty far out to the wide right side of the fairway if you're throwing that backhand hyzer like all of these guys will. So that's exactly what Paul McBeth will be trying to do here, putting all of the pressure on Ricky with a wide hyzer.
And from that angle it looks very, very wide. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. This is the first time you see that. He's inbounds inside the circle. How in the world does that work?
Yeah, way too wide out of the hand, hitting the out of bounds path on the right side, and Ricky here, he's looking a little bit inside, just fading over the basket, but also in the circle. Similar range to Paul, though I believe Paul is just a little bit outside of Ricky. So Paul will be putting first. Very important to put the pressure on Ricky on this hole number 18.
If he's able to make this one, that's gonna be a great action incoming and great drive also from Kyle. Slightly short, but around. Look at those two legends.
And you know Ricky is feeling the pressure. Last week in the European Open, he was in contention for the win going into the last hole, but bogeying the last hole and losing to Gannon Burr on the legendary Beast course. Good shot there from Aaron Gossage.
Best of the group. And let's start. You have now Paul
to put all the pressure on Ricky, and he has missed it high. No way.
He didn't miss any from C1.
And Ricky has laid up for the win. He doesn't even have to run it from 9 meters. What a turn of events. Paul McBeth with a very strong stroke. He was 5 centimeters too high, and that's it. He has lost the tournament on the final hole. And your 2024 European Disc Golf Festival champion, Ricky Wysocki. What an incredible performance. Shooting one of the best rounds ever in disc golf in the first round.
Raptor leg run. And look at that trophy. How amazing. Look at that crowd also. So many people. And giving the crowd some love. I'm not even sure what he's throwing at them.
Yeah, some mini discs, it seems. Ricky, the crowd favorite, after shooting that 16 under legendary round number 1. And what an event! All the way down to the finish line, Paul McBeth shooting tied hot round for the day, 12 under. Shout out to Joona Heinonen, also tying that hot round with a 12 under, finishing 3rd. Arguably one of the best finishes of his career.
Yeah, he's 3rd and just surrounded by a lot of US amazing players. What a tournament, what a journey it was. It was so awesome to comment on this with you, man, and it was awesome also to have you guys on the channel. It's the end of this amazing stretch in Europe, and we want to thank you for being with us. Thank you guys, and we hope to see you soon, I guess.
Yeah, see you at the latest next year.